Hey, good morning. I guess we're live. You see this lovely mess? I hope this helps you understand that sometimes for your friends, all you have to do is show up. You can look like this, the alien. There's Frankie. He shows up. Hi, baby. Okay, so I'm going to do the reading, and then I'm going to start putting on my makeup. Self-acceptance. That's a good one. I accept myself as I am. This is no easy task. It's from the book. Constantly, I find myself in internal bouts of self-criticism and self-doubt. I second-guess myself and doubt my ability to be up to the challenges of my life. Life can seem much more complicated than it did when I was a child. What does it mean to accept myself as I am? Does it mean that I stop growing and trying to be better? Does it mean that I stop growing and trying to be better? Or that I am arrogant and don't feel I need to learn more in life? Or does it mean that I am enough for today? That life isn't a race and that it is better for me and everyone around me if I can learn to take it a day at a time, to relax and enjoy the ride. Being hard on myself wounds the person I am closest to and leads me to be hard on those around me. I teach others how to treat me by how I treat myself. Today, I will begin to be fair and nice to myself and others. I accept myself each day as I am. The world is terribly apt to take people at their own valuation, from Amelia Edwards. And that's from Journey Through Womanhood. I really like this book. I like to underline things in my books. Like, this is my book. So I'm going to underline something in here. Being hard on myself. Constantly find myself in internal bouts. Second. I want you to, if you get this book, to relax and enjoy the ride. Oh, this is priceless. I teach others how to treat me by how I treat myself. That's gold right there. One of the things that I get from that is the memories that what it was saying about childhood, things seem to be so easy. Well, I don't think you would have found my channel if you had had an easy childhood. And you wouldn't be in messed up relationships time and time again if you had had an easy relationship. So some people truly believe their childhood, once they get older, they believe their childhood. Good morning, Patricia. Hey. Oh. How are you doing, sweetheart? How's your tremors the last couple days? Do you have good days and bad days? Uh-oh. My sprayer is getting old. So anyway, I was talking about how we will see our past as the good old days. And, you know, just following kind of the mainstream media, the whole, I mean, they might have been better than they are today. Politically, I don't know. Who knows anymore? All this stuff that's been uncovered. But I can say that life seemed easier, safer. It seemed more negotiable. But I can tell you that my personal life was not easy. It was a nightmare, right? So when we stay in reality about what was and what is, they're okay. My insurance finally worked out, so they might go ahead and do it. But I don't know if I'm ready. I've been praying. Honestly, I don't blame you. I wish I could hear your voice so I could tell or have you explain what scares you the most about the surgery. Is it because it's so complicated, anything could go wrong? Or is it that you just don't think you have the right doctors? Hold on, I have to get my tool from my nose. Where did I put it? I'm almost back. Is it because you don't think you have the right doctors or the right hospital that could supply the things that you need for your surgery? Do you think you're too old or too young to be able to withstand the stress on your body? Is it a brand new operation that hardly anyone's done? So how skilled could anyone be? Is it that you don't have someone to watch your dogs or critters? Sometimes we don't know what we're afraid of. Sometimes we don't know what we're afraid of till we really sit down and think about it. And one of the things that I'm guessing is that your life is going to really change once you get that operation. So, it is a big decision. And I don't want you to take it lightly. That's for sure. Still my favorite lipstick. Number 33. I can't read that tiny little writing, but it's a Clinique color, and it's number 33. Something pink, bamboo pink, and I don't think they make it anymore. I got the last tube on Amazon. They didn't have it down at my local store. Ugh. I'm going to do lots of house cleaning today. Yeah. Well, Patricia, I hope I hear back from you. I know surgery is scary. I've only had a couple surgeries, and they're ones I could live without. I could have lived without. But I decided that I wanted to have a little bit better life with my self-esteem, what I thought of myself, what I thought of my life, how I navigated it. And I had always had a problem with my hooded eyes since I was a baby. And I was wearing glasses at a very young age. And I remember the doctor telling my mom, well, she gets those heavy hoods from squinting so much. Well, I think I was born with them. I think it was a deformity, actually, or I don't know. You won't call it deformity or not, but they're very heavy. And obviously so. So I finally did it when I was around, 45, 50, something like that. So happy that I did. And then I also had a club foot. I got that surgery done because it was just getting wider and wider and wider. And it was going to be time to not just buy 2 different sizes of shoes. That's easy. It's expensive, but it's easy. It's just that it was getting so wide to get it. Custom made shoes are even a lot more expensive. And I just didn't think it was necessary when I could get a surgery, finally get a surgery. My insurance wouldn't pay for it for years because they were just like, oh, that's just, they didn't understand clubfoot very well. Someone tried to even say it was like bunions or something. It was like, dude, you're not paying attention. He was like, you just need to get some comfortable shoes like Birkenstocks. I've been wearing Birkenstocks. Ugh, people, they just don't understand. So anyway, I got that done, and now I can wear both feet in one size of shoe. Yeah, and I don't have to buy the wide and have to stuff the other smaller foot shoe. So that's pretty cool. Okay, what was I talking about? Looks like Patricia left me. She must have had... Oh, wait, let me get my glasses. I guess I'm not used to reading messages. It's sachet drastic part of the surgery is there's a lot going on. They have to put a halo around you with screws. It just takes a lot of courage. Yeah. Damn. Just the visual of it. I hear you. Patricia, one of the things that I pray for people is that they have calmness so that they can think clearly. One of the things that's happened when I've been in emergency situations, especially with clients, or not clients, but victims of certain situations, and I'm one of the first responders or I'm their therapist that they'll see just to help kind of gauge where they're at and who they should probably see first, kind of a triage situation. Or people just share with me stuff, when I'm doing other jobs, working for companies that are coming in. Because sometimes when you go into a doctor's office, you just start talking. and I get that. You think of the visual of the operation. You think of the TV scenarios that you've seen. You think of the noises. You think of the vision of someone on a table, just very visual. When we're too visual, meaning not only can we see it like looking through pages in a book, but we put ourselves in there, right? That's trauma. That's trauma. And living with what you live with every single day builds trauma in the body. The stress of pain, discomfort, embarrassment, what have you, every single day builds trauma. So I do not doubt that you have some kind of level of terror with it. Fight, flight, or freeze with it. The fact that you even took that first step to make the first appointment was heroic in my book. It's like, oh my God, look at this woman who's going to face her fears, her terror, to get an operation that is so scary. looking. They may have done the operation a million times, but it's still scary looking. And wow, that is so cool of you. I'm so proud of you. Even if you don't go through it, I think it was a great idea. And the reason why is because for a moment in time, you faced your fears and decided that you wanted to try to have a life, a new life, a life you haven't had before. That's amazing. There are people who've been in domestic violence situations who don't have the courage to walk out of the house with or without a bag, with or without their children, so that they can finally be in safety and then go back and fight for their children, or hopefully with their children. Let me correct that. But sometimes you have to get out first so you can go back with authorities. You know, I mean, they don't have the, it's hard to have courage to change your life. It's terrifying sometimes. And I don't know who you're living with or who you have for support with you. So for you to have the courage to do that alone, that's fantastic. And if you back out of it now, I would say there were enough complications put in the way that makes you take pause. Like, maybe I'm supposed to put this off. So go ahead, put it off, honey. And then when you feel right about it again, I hope you get to experience this new life without the tremors before you die. I wanted to experience getting my eyes operated on before I died, to not look like a freak to me. I know I didn't look like a freak to others. I never had trouble getting a boyfriend or a husband. Sorry, true story. My mental health issues are still there sometimes. And I went through that by myself. Because I didn't have friends. I wasn't in a relationship at the time. Got my foot surgery. I was in a relationship at a time, but it was strained and very uncomfortable. Dear God. But it was just time. You're so right. The first thing I did was to go on YouTube and see and get as much information as possible. Right. But I saw a grown man crying when I were putting on the halo. So yes, seeing that others went through, but oh my God. Oh, honey. One, yeah. Here's what I'm going to tell you. And it's true. I'm not sure if you understand that. It took courage. A lot of people don't follow through on their health. They don't. You know what they do? They just keep taking aspirin, or they get angry and they just ignore it and blame others. But you made the doctor's appointments. You even went to evidently specialists. You kept following through somehow. I don't know how, but you did. Then you went on YouTube to try to figure out what you were getting yourself into. That took courage. It took follow through. It took intelligence. One of the things, though, I'd like you to gauge it with is understand not everyone has what you have. Not that man who was crying was a human being who was scared. That's it. We all get scared. And honey, if I were in your shoes or his shoes, I'd have tears coming down my face too, right? But what an exciting time in our our lifetime and on this planet that they can do surgeries like that can change your life. Maybe his feelings were part excitement. He could have said no at any second. Maybe the tears were part terror. Fuck me. And part, I'm staying in this because this could change my life. Right? That's worthy of tears, baby. I wish I could be there to hold your hand. God, I know how important that is. Oh, I had another electric surgery. I live alone. Thank you so much for those words. It feels good to have someone understand. Oh, yes, I do. I forgot another selective surgery I had. LASIK was only a couple years old at all, and it was still very expensive. And boy, did they went through the whole scenario 3 times with me over the course of, there was the education part, watching videos, signing the papers that said if I went blind or was in pain. And then I had to have a week or two in between that and the next go round that was exactly the same. And then after the 3rd time, I was still sure I wanted the operation. They would make me the next appointment to get the operation. I forgot the name of the company, but it was so many years ago. But I will tell you, everyone in that office held my hand through the whole thing. And prayed with me before the surgery. I'm telling you the truth. That's a true story. And I was terrified because I could have lost my vision or it could have been worse. And they made it clear that, those things had a probability of happening, but it was a very high probability, if not 100%, that I would always have halos, always and forever, or even blurred vision, even if I wasn't in pain. And I'm going to tell you the truth, Patricia, my eyes well, I did the operation, didn't last long at all, but all that machinery was terrifying. And they had to get right in your eyeballs with this new LASIK thing, lasers. Oh, I was so scared. They had to give me Valium, and you had to stay awake for this kind of surgery. So, I wanted to tell you that I opened my eyes after the surgery and I could actually see without my glasses, and I had tears coming down. But anyway, I had to have patches over my eyes for a while. They didn't want any movement at all. So it was basically go to bed. And I'm going to tell you, my eyes were in pain. It felt like there were knives in the bandages. It was mind-numbingly, it hurt. It really hurt. But I appreciate my eyes, even though it didn't get all the puffiness out permanently. Some of this is from age again, because I had it done a while back. My feet, they're actually starting to get bunions. But that's normal for someone my age. At least it's not clubfoot. And my eyes, I need reading glasses. I could probably now get road glasses, but the prescription would be so weak, and I don't drive much, so. But I might get glasses. And I'm 62. And I'm basically been wearing readers till just now. It changed my life. I loved it so much. Let's see what else you got. Yeah, I understand. It's always hard when we spend so much time alone. And I'm gonna share this with you. If someone comes, I won't have privacy to really stay on, so I'll have to get off real quick. So I already apologize if that happens. Okay, so what I wanted to tell you is that I've been in a lot of relationships, but because of some of my challenges, I pick out people who are so happy to have won me over that it's flattering. I think I said that right. And then they start being themselves and they're not very nice. I had somebody explain it one time, and I don't understand the phenomena, but I had one man's son explain it to me as that I appear like a wild stallion, and it's like a cowboy wants to be able to break that horse and make it its own. And then the horse is boring and he wants to go break another one. Or he wants to make sure you stay broken. Now, I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. So, I have a propensity to be wary of people, but at the same time, embrace them very quickly because of my childhood stuff. So, I'm in counseling, even though I'm a therapist, and I really do. I am loyal to what I teach and, options that I provide with my clients. That's probably how I've been able to get more and more sane with age. It's because I'm teaching that which I love to live, teaching what I need to learn to keep in mind. Living alone, honestly, for most of my life. Have I had lots of relationships? Yes, but they've been short-lived. And even with just friendships, because of how often I've moved, I've had so much space and time during critical moments in my life, critical periods, critical events, so much time alone that it was depressing. It was sad. It was embarrassing. So when I've gone to get operations, I've actually allowed friends who said, hey, I'll be there for you. I'll go to the operation room with you or go through these with you. And I'm like, okay. And I've made some good friends that way. But I've also done some things completely on my own and alone. And it was heartbreaking to have to do that until I was sitting in a dentist office one day, and this might choke me up. I was sitting in a dentist office one day, and Patricia, this is a true story, where it asked for emergency contact. Again. And this is after years and years and years of, traveling and having to, fill out new forms for dentists or doctors or pap smear doctors. You have to stay up on your health even if you travel a lot. And I didn't have a home base because it just, why pay rent somewhere or own a home and not ever be there. So it just happened so often. I was sitting, oh, I think it was in Minnesota. And it was stressful driving there because of the weather. A lot of crazy drivers up there. And I went to fill it out, and it was just the wrong timing. And it said emergency contact name and phone number. And it just made me cry. I started crying. I wasn't in pain. It was just a dental cleaning. I do that every 6 months, and I just teared up. And I put down the stuff, went out to my car, finished crying, went back in. And oh, while I was out of the car, we had cell phones back then. And so I'm thumbing through my phone because I knew I didn't really have anybody. And so I did have a cell phone then. And I just wrote down the person I liked the most. I just wrote down the person I liked the most, and I started using that name and phone number all the time. Matter of fact, she and I don't even talk anymore. And we didn't talk all that often then, but we had a nice little friendship for a while. And so I just automatically started using her name and phone number. So it's never been needed. And if it had been needed, she would have just gone, gosh, I don't know. I guess I'll go help, or gosh, I can't go help. I'm busy, or I don't know why she gave you my number. Oh my God. You know? Or you could pick someone who's already passed away. I never thought of that till just now. Gosh, that would have been so handy. If I needed that idea again, I'll use it. I have a sister that passed away, and I could use her name and phone number. Make up a phone number. That happened. And then, Patricia, here's something else that happened. I did a seminar. I used to be very like a sponge trying to learn about spirituality. Well, why are you here? Kind of mentality, emotionality. I did a lot of seminars on spirituality, meditation, different religions, lectures. I was very fascinated by it, and I wanted to learn. I wanted to feel like I belonged on planet Earth. And we'll talk about that some other time. But I hear traffic, so I'm going to have to go. But we did what was called a death meditation after weeks of this course. So it's not for the week, and I'm not going to tell anybody to do it. But just imagine that briefly, lightly, don't dig into it. If you die in your sleep tonight, what are you going to wish you had done? You know, truly, with your heart of hearts. And if this surgery isn't going to change your life, if you're not going to do anything different, if you don't think you're going to feel different, if you don't think you're going to live different or die differently, why bother getting the surgery, you know? I mean, if it were me, I was more confident, I was happier, I was more stable, I was more outgoing and brave in ways of putting myself out there simply because I felt better about how I looked and how I could see things around me. Anyway, got company. I better go. Dang it. Anyway, I love you. Patricia, big hug. Wish I could be there. But remember, you have a life to live, right? You've worked hard to be here. So, it's up to you. Bye for now.